Welcome to the Q1 Buck Pull. I'm Tim Hart-Haverhill. He's Mike Big Buck Hoffner. It has been party time at the Q1 Buck Pull.
Yeah, party time in the polar vortex. I'll tell you what, man, it has been cold, but people are showing up.
We've been to the Country Smokehouse up in Almont. We had a great party up there. Thanks to Steve Francis and the crew for hosting us. We were at the Timbers Golf Course and Lodge, and that is up in Vassar. That was a lot of fun. The Mosey Inn, we were there with our host, Frank's Sporting Goods, and that was fun up in Morley. It was just a lot of great time.
Yeah, it's great because we get to give away prizes and you get to hear the great stories.
Coming up towards the end of February, we're going to have our final Buck Pull prize party here on the Q1 Buck Pull, and that's where we'll announce who won the ATV, so stay tuned for that. On this week's show, we got interviews. We've got pheasant breast cooked succulently from Firekeepers Casino.
I'll tell you what, I love venison, but probably my favorite wild dish is pheasant, so I can't wait to see the recipe.
So lots of interviews, lots of conversation, and we are going to have a great time on today's Q1 Buck Pull. Stay with us. Firekeepers Casino and Hotel present the Q1 Buck Pull. We had big deer up at the Country Smokehouse, a lot of great stories, and here's some of the interviews from our party. Scott, you've measured quite a few deer this year, and Scott shot a 8-pointer, 14.5-inch spread, 7.5 inches of mass, 6.25-inch longest tine, total score 36.25, shotgun, and he's out of Columbiaville. And Scott, tell us a little bit about the hunt.
Well, I don't know if you want to hear this one or the other one I killed. I thought I'd have the other rack, but unfortunately, Camel Creek Hydrographics, I thought Kevin was going to be here. He's got my other rack.
He is actually up in Grand Rapids right now at the Hunting Time Expo.
So maybe that's where my other rack's at.
Your rack's at. That's right.
But that was the first buck that I did shoot this year was the other rack, which is a nice 7-point. And just to tell you a little bit about that, because that story, in my opinion, is a lot more important than this story. This summer I lost my mom. And those of you that lose your mom, you know that's a tough blow. And I took my mom out this year in Hart, and I said, Mom, this is your morning. She's never hunted. I said, the buck that you bring by me, I will shoot it. Well, to let you know what happened, it came time that I actually had to close her house in the same day. I said, I got to get down and close this house. So I get down on the ground, and I look up, and here comes this buck. And I'm like, Mom, not now. And this 7-point comes in, broadside, 20 yards away. I picked up the crossbow, I put it behind the shoulder, and I said, Mom, I cannot shoot this. I won't be able to sell your house. And so guess what I did? I did not shoot it. I let it walk. I went, I closed her house for her, came back the next morning. I said, okay, Mom, if you really want me to shoot that 7-point, here I am. I won't be darned, it got daylight, here comes a buck in. I pulled up my crossbow, and sure enough, it was the exact same 7-point. Came in, shot it, died within sight. My mom got her first buck. That's more important to me than this one, because I could feel her presence, and those of you know when so many loved ones die that we do feel their presence at times. So what I did ask Kevin from Hydro Creek Graphics to do, and they have about 250 designs that you can pick from. They have one called God's Country, and it has a cross on it. And I said, as soon as I saw that, I said, that's the one I want on my buck. And they said, well, we can't put it straight up and down on there, but it's going to have to be sideways. I said, a cross isn't sideways, it's straight up and down. They said, well, let me see what they can do. So anyhow, I'm hoping that Kevin does do that for us and gets it straight up and down, and maybe we'll get to see it later at the finale. But this buck here was a power outage buck. Everybody knows about the power outage. Well, this is the first power outage. Basically, we lost, it was shot about the 4th day of gun season, 5th day, something like that, when the power was out for 4 straight days, and I was one of them people out there running my generator all night long. The power came back on at about 1 in the morning. I got up, and my wife says, "What are you doing?" I says, "Well, I'm going to go take a shower." She says, "Why is that?" Because I said, "I'm going hunting in the morning. I got tomorrow off. I already got it off." So went out there and hunted that morning. Didn't only seen one deer, but I did check my trail camera, and this one here came through on the trail camera. I thought it was dead because I had seen it in bow season, and he smelled me, and I said I'll never get another chance at him because he smelled me this year. But actually went back to the exact same stand that I left alone for 2 weeks, and he came in that night and offered a perfect shot, and I did take him. He's a fighter. He's broke his tines. He's one of the, not the hugest rack in the world, but it's a nice, decent buck. So, when power outages and things like that happen out there to relieve pressure on the deer, that's when they're going to move, and that's what I learned off this buck, even though it is the 4th, 5th day of season. So, anyhow, that was my season pretty much, and thank you.
Scott, quickly, give us the 1 minute pitch. How's that for Hicks Outdoors? Mark Curley and the group, you guys do a fabulous job at Hicks. It's not one of these big, huge box stores, but it is a big store, and you guys really take care of people there, don't you?
Right, we got, Hicks Outdoors, we pretty much carry everything there. A lot of people come into our store, we've never been in here before. This place is great. Well, yeah, we try to make it that we have everything that you need there for all the seasons in hunting and fishing. So I'm the guy normally behind the counter in the fishing section, and I'm always trying to help people out that are going fishing, that need information, or going hunting, and helping them out as best I can. But if you haven't ever been by us, it's on I-75 and Vienna Road. Get off at Vienna, and then go over to Linden Road, and we're 1 block to the south across from Walmart. So come see us sometime.
Scott, thanks a lot for being with us here tonight. Great story. Thank you. Q1buckpull.com. Check it out. We've got all the bucks arranged. We're going to be announcing who won the ATV online on our Facebook page. And Mike, today we've got some cooking, though, from Firekeepers Casino. We just had our party at Firekeepers. We had a great time there, and we've got some of those interviews, but not today, in upcoming shows.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Firekeepers does a great job, but the cooking of the pheasant today is, like I said, one of the premier dishes. I love pheasant, so I want to see the recipe.
A little change of pace here in the Q1 Buck Pull. Today, we are making pheasant. We're at Firekeepers Casino and Hotel. Chef Jeremiah Chabich is with us, and what are we going to be making here today?
All right, today we're going to do a seared pheasant breast. It's going to go with some seared asparagus and mushroom cream sauce. To get started, we already got our pan warmed up. Got a little bit of oil in there. Let that heat up for a second. You always see it starting to get hot. It kind of gets wavy.
Sure.
And we're going to start by searing the pheasant first. Get some gloves on, it is poultry.
Well, and a lot of people are out there. We've been making a lot of venison recipes. So today we thought, well, let's change it up a little bit. We know there's a lot of pheasant hunters out there.
I mean, pheasant, it's a fall hunting season, so let's get a couple breasts in here.
Okay.
With some salt and pepper. Nice and good. Then what we're going to do is we're going to coat it in a little bit of flour. That's going to help form a crust on it. I'm going to help lock in the moisture.
So a little salt and pepper first, then a little flour,
Yep.
then into the pan.
Yes, sir. You always want to season first before you put any type of breading on.
Okay.
Because no matter how good the breading is or how good the sauce is, it doesn't really matter if you get down to bland food. Turn that up a little bit. Now this is going to take about 4 or 5 minutes each side. I'm going to let this cook, brown up. I'm going to flip it, finish cooking it.
And pheasant is something that you want to cook all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, it is a bird. It's a game bird. Some people like to do their game bird medium, even medium rare. I don't.
I don't either.
It's
like chicken or something, I need it done.
Yeah, it has to be done. I mean, it doesn't have to be overcooked. The proper temp is 165 degrees. So we flipped them over, nice golden brown sear on them, and they're going to take a few more minutes to finish cooking.
And really, it's getting like a little bit, I want to say, a crust on it, but...
Yeah, I mean, you can call it a crust. I mean, if you touch it, I mean, it feels like a crust. I mean,
Right.
that's what the flour does.
Okay.
It helps, if you don't have the skin of the animal on it, the flour helps do the crust, and it helps to lock in the moisture.
Right.
Like I said before, if you hit 158 and take them off, it'll carry over cooking to the proper temp. So, get
So just a regular thermometer, stick it in there.
Just regular meat thermometer, you can stick it right in there.
All right.
I don't think I'm going to use one today.
Hey, when you're a sous chef, you don't need one. You got it all figured out.
I'm going to gamble. I work in a casino, right? Gamble on the temp.
You gotta like that kind of attitude, you know. All right, looks like the pheasant's been seared nicely on both sides.
Seared quite nicely. Took a little bit. Yeah, it's nice and brown. A little trick to this: doing it at home. Get your oven set to 350. As soon as you flip them the first time, throw it in the oven, and you can start doing whatever you want, and they'll cook a little bit quicker.
All right. So you want me to set this over here then for
We'll
a minute?
set that over there. Let them carry over cook for a little bit.
Okay.
Now we're gonna turn the other saute pan up for our asparagus. And believe it or not, that's a lot of flavor in there. So I'm gonna save that. Deglaze it with some white wine. Go ahead, scrape the bottom, get that going. Gonna let this come up to a boil, let that alcohol cook off. Other pan's starting to warm up. That oil get nice and toasty. For this one, it's where we're gonna saute the asparagus.
Okay.
Give that a second longer. Start hearing that sizzle. That's important. It means it's cooking.
So again, you want that sizzle because that makes the pan's hot enough then.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, if you hear the sizzle, that means as soon as the food hits it, it starts cooking.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's just going to sit in oil, soak up that
Right.
oil. So this way, the food starts cooking. The fibers start to pull together, and keeps that oil from soaking in.
Right. So we got the alcohol cooking off.
Got the alcohol cooking off. It should be cooked. It only takes about a minute and a half.
All right.
Put in a little bit of garlic. Now, normally I would put in the garlic after I cook the vegetables a little bit. This is a little bit of leeks. But because there's a liquid in here, the garlic won't burn.
So when you talk about leeks, some people are like, what is that?
And we got our button mushrooms. Let's get them going.
All right.
Leeks, it's pretty much just like a giant green onion.
Okay.
That's what one looks like. You chop this off, and then you use this middle section right there.
Okay.
Has a flavor of a green onion, a little bit more mild though.
All right.
There. Get these cooking a little bit. And with this, we're going to add a little bit of chicken stock.
And again, with all of these recipes, some take a little more time, but they're pretty quick and to the point.
Yeah, I mean, really none of these recipes are super complicated.
Right.
The biggest part about them is most of them take some mise en place.
Time to get prepped.
Time to get prepped.
And then once you're actual cooking, it's not that long. And we'll have the recipes online, so you can check those out. And all of our cooking segments, you can go to q1buckpole.com, go to the TV shows, and then you can see which recipe we're cooking, and you'll be able to watch it there again. All right, hey, it looks like the asparagus is done, so we're just kind of keeping it warm.
Keeping it warm. I turned down the heat real low so it stays warm. The chicken stock reduced nicely. Now we're going to add the cream to it.
If you love mushrooms, I think you're going to love this for sure.
Just a little bit of cream right there. that mixed in, and we're going to reduce this just a little bit more.
That'll make kind of a creamy mushroom sauce type of thing then.
Glad you said sauce and not soup.
Where are we at now? Looks
So
like it's ready to go.
Sauce is done. It thickened up quite nicely. Our asparagus is done. Our pheasant is ready.
We made a little rice ahead of time.
Made a little wild rice ahead of time.
All right. The rice in the middle.
Same thing with rice, like I was talking about the pheasant earlier. As soon as it's ready to put a lid on it, on the stove top, just throw it in a 325 degree oven.
Okay.
Finish it off. Do some asparagus.
Oh, and the mushrooms and
And the
sauce.
mushrooms and cream sauce.
Wow.
Some mushrooms, a little bit more sauce in there.
Very nicely done.
And that's it, Tim.
All right, my favorite part of the show. Time to try it. A little pheasant with mushrooms, asparagus. We'll start with the asparagus. Wow, that has got some great flavor on it.
Very simple, just salt, pepper, hot oil.
A little mushroom. Wow, that is really good.
Thank you.
Very good. All right, now, got to get to the pheasant. Great flavor. And of course, a little bit of the rice. That is awesome.
Thank you, sir.
That is awesome. You got to try it yourself there, man. You cut yourself a little piece and everything. You are good to go. Very good. Again, give me the whole lineup. It's pheasant with...
Seared pheasant with wild rice, seared asparagus, and mushroom cream sauce.
Outstanding, Chef, as
Thank you, Tim.
always. Chef Jeremiah Chavich with us here at Firekeepers Casino and Hotel, and you're watching the Q1 Buck Bowl.
Friday we hunted very hard, saw some deer, but again we were being good guys. And Saturday we were being good guys, and in the afternoon it was getting a little nerve-wracking. So I think it was around 3:30. Roger had already rattled in a couple of nice deer, but they were just a little too far away. And around 3:30 this guy popped over one hill, and we got ready, and he came straight at us about 50 yards, and we dumped him. So nice deer, and that's my story. So.
That's your story. You're sticking to it. That's a great one.
To it. All right.
That is a great one, Ray.
Yeah.
Now, real quick before you wheel on back, one of the things that Roger Wilcox is one of the guides out there that helps people get out in the woods. If you know somebody that is disabled for any reason, you guys really have a great organization to join. And what are some of the keys to getting somebody out in the woods, such as yourself?
Well, the first thing is get over your fear. Fear destroys learning. And I know Roger has learned a lot. He never had fear. He's a Marine also. But it just takes a little bit of friendship from you and helping us to get out there. And, once we get out there and we get that gun in our hand, we're all equal. Once I can look through the crosshairs and pull the trigger as good as anybody. So it just takes some help from someone that has a little bit of a heart. And what we're trying to do, what my goal is, we've been rolling now for 14 years, and we have many lifelong friendships already built between the guide, the hunter, and the property owner. Just to give you an example, we can always use property. If anyone has property where they would let a wheelchair hunter come on, we can always use guides and volunteers, and we can always use people in wheelchairs. So that's the combination we're looking for. And that's what makes it work. I think we're totaling up about 34,000 acres right now that we're entitled to, and we hunt Oakland County, Lapeer County, Sanilac County, Tuscaloosa County, and Huron County. And Roger and I were having breakfast this morning in Mayville prior to a rabbit hunt where we took Operation Injured Soldier out, which is another organization that we help, where the wounded guys are coming back from Afghanistan, Iraq, busted up pretty bad, and we make sure that we include those guys on a special hunt, a couple of hunts a year also. And anyway, we were sitting in a restaurant, and guys were asking what we were up to, and we told them, and bingo, we got 80 more acres to hunt on. It's just that easy. So we appreciate Q1 Buck Poll. If you're in Lapeer County and you know about race season, the crazy guy that sets up about a week before the deer hunt for awareness, that's me. Okay, and I'm doing that for two reasons. One is we have a raffle and we're trying to sell some tickets, and the other thing is for awareness. It's amazing when I go into a lot of the businesses in Lapeer and they say, oh, we know you're the guy that sits on the pole, then I have to introduce myself. But so now you know me and you know my name, it's Ray Brown, so give a toot on the horn or stop in, buy some raffle tickets. And we can't say enough about Steve. I don't pick on him a lot, but every time I've asked Steve, he's been right there and donations and support. And Q1 Buck Poll, it's the greatest thing on earth.
Q1buckpoll.com. Check out all the deer entries. And Mike, it has been a great year. Upcoming, people are going to see some of the funny interviews that we've done, and really some of the heartwarming and touching interviews in the next so many shows.
You know, it's kind of interesting. No matter where you go, deer hunting comes up. I was in St. Martin, and I actually had some people find out about our deer hunting show. My kids were probably talking about it. Next thing I know, they're from Illinois. They're talking about deer hunting, and they wanted to see the website. So guess what? They went to the website and loved it.
Well, that is cool, and it's always, you always have time for deer stories. At least I do.
Yeah, and, you know, and it's a great way to meet people because, you know, you're just surprised sometimes because the people I was talking to, you know, you just automatically assume that it's the dad that does the hunting. The hunter of the family was their daughter. And she shot a big one this year.
Very cool, very cool. Well, we'd like to thank Connecticut Valley Arms, one of our great sponsors, as always, each and every year. They have given away some fabulous prizes, and you'd be amazed that, oh, I want that muzzle loader. So we appreciate them. We appreciate Dart Archery for giving away some of the crossbows and the compound bows. Again, working with sponsors out there has been fabulous, and a special thanks goes to our host of all our parties, along with Firekeepers Casino.
I'll tell you what, it's been a great year, and each and every year you're looking for it to get better and better, and the bucks to get bigger and bigger.
All right, next week we have more party interviews, so check it out on Q1 Buck Poll and Q1buckpoll.com. He's Mike Big Buck Hoffner. I'm Tim Hart Haberl. Thanks for being with us. Make sure you're safe whenever you're out in the woods.